Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the number one sports podcast, broadcasting Sundays at 9 a.m.-ish in Sacramento, California. Sports Talk 916. The ones, your hosts, Greg Bowl and Coach Greg Barroso.
And it's more like 8 p.m.-ish on the weird time. Actually, it is 9 p.m. It just doesn't change. This is episode 295 of this little shindig we call Sports Talk 916. I'm Coach Greg. A little under the weather today, so if my voice goes out, I'll probably end up just shutting up for a lot of time. What was that? And that's Mr. Chief Greg Bowl. And together we're the two-headed monsters of Greg. We call Sports Talk 916. Sorry about last weekend. I know there's a lot of shit to talk about, but there's a lot of shit to talk about today. So
yeah,
looks like we're all right.
Last week was rough. We had some family issues. Well, I had some family issues. You were under the weather, but it's all good. We are here and we are live on this beautiful. It is Sunday evening. We don't really know what's going on anymore when it comes to dates or times. But James, he's doing good. Thank you for asking. He's home. He's getting better. So things are going well. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun with it though. But let's just go ahead and let's just jump into a few things first. Since the last time we were here, the Republic FC's season unfortunately came to an end. They lost to El Paso last night 3-0, ending their USL Pro run in the playoffs. We have had Sac State's run of greatness in the last couple of weeks actually come to an end. They lost to Weber State last night at the Nest. They call it a Nest, but they talk at the Nest. They're still having a great year. Nothing against Sac State. They're doing amazing.
Yeah, they got beat pretty bad. I watched a lot of that game and
run.
State. What?
Yeah. So yeah, no, sorry, but yeah. So Weber State is just a really good team. But yeah, there's just a lot going on. The World Series is over. Nationals in 7, first time in Major League Baseball history that every home game was won by the visitor, or sorry, every game when the World Series was won by a visiting team. There was no home wins, and I would be so unbelievably pissed if I was a fan that bought tickets to a World Series game and then my team lost.
Especially if you bought it last minute and spent $400 or $500 for them.
Or if you're a season ticket holder and you bought every single possible home game and they lost all of them,
right?
That would be pretty rough. And everyone wants to leave Washington. Yeah, everyone wants out. Strasburg's going to opt out. A few other players I've heard are on the brink of leaving as well. So that's going to be a fun thing to watch this offseason. Rumor has it that Strasburg likely is to stay in Washington, take just a bigger deal. There's also been talks that the Giants and Yankees may be in the Steven Strasburg sweepstakes to try to get a little bit of extra going on there. I think it's going to be the Giants are going to go after Garrett Cole. If that doesn't work out, they may throw a lot of money at Steven Strasburg. Garrett Cole wants to be a San Francisco Giant. His brother-in-law plays for the Giants, Brandon Crawford. Garrett Cole is married to Brandon Crawford's sister. So it's a big family affair. He wants them there and to play together. And yeah, Steve, Sharks are on the skids. They are playing absolutely terrible, but that's what I wanted to open the show with is I have a new, how do I want to put this? I have a new barometer for sports viewing in a live capacity. And I'm not sure that I want to spend money on another live sporting event unless it's an NHL hockey game.
You're not the first person that's ever said that either.
Yeah,
it's
Oilers are in first place. Congrats to them, but what's up, Mark? The Sharks game, although they lost 3-2 on a questionable call on goalie interference, it was an absolutely insane game. This day and age in sports, we get kind of lucky, right? Like, and what I mean by that is the 37 to 20 now. Baltimore is up on New England. We get spoiled by the technology in stadiums. San Francisco Giants recently upgraded their scoreboard. It's got a huge video board out up in center field. The Sacramento Kings have one of the most infectious scoreboards in all of professional sports. It goes free throw line to free throw line. It's massive. Levi Stadium, huge scoreboards. You find yourself kind of at the game, but still like TV watching, and you kind of lose the sense of the live event where you're better off almost just staying at home. I found myself multiple times on Friday night like hooked on the game itself that I forgot there was a Jumbotron. Like there were multiple, like in a Kings game, every time there's a play, I look up and watch the replay. Every time there is anything going on. Hell, Kings games, you watch the game live on the Jumbotron because you could see it better than what's on the floor.
Yep.
There were moments in the second and third period that the period started, and other than like a replay, like the refs were replaying the scoreboard or whatever, there was one point in the third period that I literally looked up, and for the first time in the entire period, I looked up. 4 minutes were left in the period, and I was like, "Holy shit! I am in a trance." And it's nonstop action. We sat in the corner right off the right hip of the goalie's net, where the Sharks shot twice on that goal, and the defensemen, just pounding guys into the glass, the puck bouncing off the glass, just all the action. I don't think I'm ever going to go to a live sporting event again if I have to pay for the ticket. Like I literally am fucking hooked, and it was amazing. So anyone that says like, "Oh, you need to go see live hockey," they are not wrong.
And the other thing is that we've talked about a lot is you can hear the game. You can hear the passes. You can hear the puck hitting the stick. You can hear people, talking to each other. You don't have all that extra.
No. Let me stop you there because we were 15 rows off the glass in the lower bowl, and I was amazed by how quiet the chatter between the players was. I could barely hear players at all. Literally, you hear the ice, and you hear it almost sounded like every single stick was mic'd. The puck hits that stick, and it's like two people clapping boards together.
Right.
Holy shit. But you don't hear the talk. You don't hear that. And that was kind of more amazing to me was like, you literally just watch the sport. It's like it's on mute with sound effects.
And you don't have all that extra fan inducing rah music. Okay, clap this way.
There were some chants, there was some defense chants, or there was some let's go Sharks. There was some, there was some of that like ambiance, but there wasn't a lot of just like we have to continually make noise and we have to all this other shit. It was just just watch the game and go.
And my point is, that's one of our big beefs with basketball is there's no quiet. There's no game noise.
That game Arena or Sleep Train Arena 2 years ago when the sound system was broken was probably my favorite game I've ever been at because it was just basketball.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I've seen a couple hockey games.
You're totally wrong, dude. We'll get to Mike in a second. Steve, my seats were section 106, row 15. And they were awesome. Yeah, so if you've never been to a live hockey game, fucking go. Yeah. It was amazing. But yeah, so that's my soapbox. I'll get down off of it now because we're gonna get up on another soapbox, and that is the Sacramento Kings. They started off poor. I had audio planned for this because I thought it would be fun, but I didn't pre-listen to the audio, so it's not as like exciting as I hoped it would be. But we have we're gonna continue to ride this roller coaster that we call King fans, or a King season. So bear with me while I play this really bad audio because I'm not gonna like let my work go to waste. It's supposed to be like a loud like clicking of a roller coaster going up the hill. Like you can kind of hear it, but it was supposed to have like screaming, and apparently no one screams on this roller coaster, so it's just lame.
Because everybody's too busy jumping off.
Yeah, everyone's like, this roller coaster's hella stupid. We're getting the fuck out of here. So that's gone. But it was like 9 seconds left. I'm not going to let it play. I probably would have been better off just going with my crickets noise and just leaving it alone. But Sacramento Kings, all the fanfare around the season, all the hope was high. Everything started off just with, this is our year. This is the year we make the playoffs. This is the way that, this is the year that Luke Walton brings this team to fruition. Jaeger's gone. Buddy's re-signed. We have our core now. And they fell flat on their face. First, 4 games? 5 games?
Five games.
Rough. Kings fans, and it's a rarity, but Kings fans were booing the players on the court. You don't ever hear that in Sacramento. And I was in the very small minority of people that was under the impression and in the agreement that the team deserved it. This team was playing without heart. They weren't taking things serious. There was no effort on defense. And it almost felt like they were okay with just using the excuse of it's a new year, we're a new team, it's going to get better, instead of doing the things it needed to do to get better.
Right.
And that bothered the hell out of me. No effort. Bagley goes down in the first game. It turns out that the Hulk was out there, and DeAndre Ayton hurting everybody. I still believe that Bagley's injury happened before the game, and he tried to play through it, and it just so happened to come back to bite him in the ass. He's out for a while, but just up and down the list, there were just problems with the Sacramento Kings to start the year. And, people calling for Dwayne Dedmon's head. Bogey needs to be traded or cut. Barnes is overpaid. Ariza sucks. Like, there wasn't I don't think that there was a positive post in any of the Kings groups to start the season off, other than the fact that the new court looked good.
I heard a guy call it Napier and say, "I've got the problem. This is what's killing the Kings right now. Their backup point guard needs to play
Yogi
better."
Ferrell needs all the minutes. Why isn't Yogi Ferrell playing over Corey Joseph?
Right?
Newsflash: Corey Joseph's a much better player than Yogi Ferrell is, so that's why he's getting the minutes.
And their problems went way above backup point guard.
Somebody called in and asked for Kyle Guy. Another guy called in and asked for Cody Demps to be called up from Stockton already. Stockton hasn't even started their training camp. They had their first preseason game today, and they're already calling for two-way contract guys to come up and play. It was rough. And my favorite one, and obviously it's people that didn't watch either of the first 2 game broadcasts, was Doug Christie should be our coach. Put Doug Christie in as coach. Well, if you watch the first 2 games, Doug Christie was praising Luke Walton's style. He liked his rotations.
Yeah.
He liked schemes. He liked what he was doing. The team just wasn't playing better. And it's like, look, if Christie is okay with this, why the fuck would you want him to be our coach? It's not going to change anything. People asking Vlade to honor his 2 years. If we're not better, he's going to quit, promise. And there was just so much going on. And then they win, and then they beat Utah, and things start to get better. And now they beat New York tonight, and they, everyone's like, oh, their defense got better. Their opponent's scoring average has gone down the last 2 games. Great, but they played the Knicks. Like, let's play a team that's not equally as bad and see if the improvement is the same.
They played the Jazz, and the Jazz are an elite team, and they were the first team that scored 100 points on the Jazz.
They're not. I don't know that I would put the Jazz in an elite team.
Well, they're an upper echelon team.
They're an upper echelon team. not an elite team. But, every blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. And then it just so happened that the Kings got to build some momentum. They got to go up and play against the Knicks, who were equally as bad. They were both 1-5 going into this game. So, there was a benefit to it. And, yeah, they played really well tonight. Fox had a great game tonight. The whole team looked good. There was a lot going on, but you can't be excited about the sloppy play and the turnovers and everything that goes along with what has been happening with the Sacramento Kings team. And Kings fans, literally were on the ledge, freaking the hell out. This team, it was, I don't even know where to begin. That's how crazy things got. And you said that we probably have a different take on this. So I would love to know what your take is, your impression is on the first part of the season. While you do that, I'm going to share our video to every fucking Kings group that's out there, because I want to get as much opinion as possible on this, because Keith Jogonatis and Sean Holcomb and Danny Beckham, they're bringing back their Sack Throne show, which I think is great in the Kingdom. They're given a lot of opportunity to voice their opinions. Until they're back, I would love to be a sounding board for anyone that wants to sound off on this. But let's go ahead and start with your opinion and see exactly what it is or how you feel about the fact that the Kings started off poorly and what you want to say about it.
So my opinion, first off, is this could have come in February and nobody would have been as panicked as they are now. They had a lot of things going for them. And I think, and I'm not making excuses, my impression was Buddy was trying to earn his contract in the first 5 days. He was trying to do everything, and he just wasn't doing it. And so I think he's calmed down a little bit. He shot great tonight from what I saw. I saw about half the game, and he shot really well. I think the injuries hurt. And I think they do have a large number of newer players that they're trying to work into the system. So, again, not an excuse, but I think it's the reality. And like I said, if this happened in February, nobody would say shit. People would be, oh, well, hey, we lost 4 or 5 games. It better not go any further. But since it happened the first 4 games of the year, then, everybody's ready to jump off the ledge. And I think that, we need to look at 10, 20, 30 game increments to really make a judge on this team. So at 10 games, if they're 2-6 or 2-8, then we're in trouble. If at 20 games we're 5-15, we're in trouble. But if they get their shit together and they start getting some players back and they start playing well together and Buddy gets off, whatever thing he's trying to do. De'Aaron played a lot better tonight. Defensively, they've looked better the last 2 nights. And I know one's the Knicks, but the other one's the Jazz, and the Jazz are a pretty good team. So that's kind of where I think it is. I think it's just a lot of panic for nothing.
FYI, New England just lost 37-20 to Baltimore. So
nice.
They're the only undefeated team left in the NFL.
They better stay that way.
It's going to stay that way. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. Buddy was plus 26 tonight, 5-11 from 3.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take one thing that you said and I'm gonna beat it over the head with a stick because I think it's the dumbest. Grant Napier says this shit all the time, and I fucking hate it. Oh, after 15 games, talk to me. After 3 years, talk to me. After 10 games, you just said after 15, after 20. These guys get paid bajillions of dollars every 30 seconds to play a fucking game. You had all season to get ready to play together. If you're a professional, you learn how to win games after game 2, 3, 4, and 5. You don't need an excuse to pull out 20 games. In the West, 15 games starting off 5-13, or that's really not 15, by the way. That's 2-13. You could be out of the playoff picture by the end of November if you start off in the West poorly.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you there.
I don't give you a free pass. Start winning fucking games now. You're a professional basketball team. Figure that shit out.
But this season is a, like you said, it's a roller coaster. So nobody's going to play 82 games straight.
You want me to play the sound again?
No.
Okay.
Nobody's going to play 82 games straight and be perfect. And like I said, you play those 5 games in February, nobody even says anything. So, it just happened at the wrong time.
Hold on.
I just don't think –
real quick, because if they play those type of games in February, Kings fans are going to blow up Golden One Center. You're giving way too much credit to Kings fans right now. If the Kings play any game after this week and shit the bed as hard as they did those first 5 games, they're going to have to put riot shields outside of Golden One Center because there's going to be a problem. Kings fans,
they're going to. They're going to.
They'll lose their shit because February.
They better get over it because they're not going to play. What do we have? 77 games left, 75 games left.
I thought 5 and 13 was 15. So
whatever we have, 76 games left. They're not going to play 76 perfect games. They're going to throw up some stickers. They're going to throw up some games like they did the first week, and Kings fans just have to deal with it.
But are Kings fans going to do like how much do we have to deal with on those message boards before we go crazy? Because you got to remember, and I'm not talking we as in me and you, I'm talking about like every other fan that has their head screwed on right. It's Kings fans literally are going to have to go on fucking suicide watch if this starts happening over and over and over again.
But don't you think there's a group of those guys that even over the, you're not going to like this, but let's say over the next 10 games, we go 7-3 or we go 6-4. Aren't there going to be the Sammys and the other guys out there that just want to find something to bitch about? And no matter how good we play, it's not good enough.
Without a doubt.
This isn't a 60-win team. This team isn't going to win 60 games.
No, without a doubt.
It's going to be, and even before this stretch, they aren't a 60-win team. They're a 45 to 50 maybe win team. And so with a 45 to 50 game winning team, and I don't even know if they can do that given the West, but whatever they do, they're going to have shit games like that, and people just have to deal with it.
Okay, but what 14, 10, and 3? I don't know what the hell James is talking about there. I wonder how much of it though is Luke Walton, and how much of it was a bad choice for Vlade to hire him without doing any other interviews, because it's a lot of Laker. I was listening to the Grant Napier's show the other day, and a lot of Laker fans actually called in, and they were like, "Hey, look, let's give an outside perspective. Luke Walton has never had to develop a player. He went into Golden State and started off that year great with Steve Kerr's team. He went into LA, had a great young core. They underperformed. He couldn't develop Lonzo. He couldn't develop Randall. He couldn't develop any of those guys. He couldn't even win with LeBron. So what makes you think he's going to win in Sacramento? And if they play like they did tonight and the other night, that would be great. But the reality of that is this is a very young team, and I don't think that Luke Walton right now has the pedigree to keep these guys where they need to be. Someone called in and was talking about the end of the game against, I want to say Denver. It was the excuse me, the Charlotte game. Finished the Charlotte game. The camera caught, I want to say, Rashawn Holmes coming off the court, and he was visibly pissed. You could read his lips. He was swearing. He was walking off the court. He was not happy at all. And then it cut to De'Aaron Fox, and De'Aaron Fox was talking to someone in the tunnel, and he was laughing, and he was having a good time, and he went out and he traded jerseys with Donovan Mitchell, or it wasn't Mitchell, it wasn't a Utah game, it was their young two guard. I can't think of what his name is right now, but they go out and they change jerseys, and they're laughing, and they're having a good time. And someone asked Doug Christie about that. They're like, "Hey, what is that about? Like, how does that work?" And he essentially said, "Look, it's a different NBA. This is what coaches need to do and need to get control of. And Luke Walton isn't the coach that's going to do that. They don't have a veteran. Trevor Ariza is basically their veteran who's supposed to bring that like solidity. I'm not sure that's a fucking word. So, English to my poor academic list. He's supposed to bring that glue that brings all these guys together. And when it comes down to crunch time, I'm not sure that this team is going to have that piece to bring it all together. Corey Joseph's a veteran. Trevor Ariza, Dedmon's, he's not there. I mean, there's not really that player that is known for being a glue guy, and I think that's what worries me more than anything. And, you have all these young guys. They're not going to bring Giles back, it looks like, next year. They're letting that experiment fly. You have to worry about Fox if he's going to be worried about his contract extension next season. You have to worry about Bagley and how he's going to be coming back from an injury. Like, there's so much on the table. Yeah, Barnes. Someone asked, and that same question that was my thought. Josh, thank you. Was when Holmes was mad and Fox was laughing, they said, "Who's the leader of this team? Whose team is this?" And Doug and Grant both kind of paused, and they both kind of just went, "We're at base right now. It's Harrison Barnes' team." Harrison Barnes isn't a leader. Harrison Barnes isn't that guy. Like, who's going to step up and make sure this team is ready to play? And that's what really worries me. They're a young core. Great. The Warriors are essentially falling off the map. They're hurt more than anybody. The Clippers are going to play great. Denver doesn't look as strong as they were. Utah is beatable. San Antonio is going to fall a little bit. The Kings have a legitimate chance to be like a 6, 7, 8 seed. But when it comes down to crunch time, who is going to be that guy that steps up and goes, "Okay, guys, get on my back. We're going to take this team to the promised land"?
It's going to have to be Fox. It's going to have to be Fox.
He's not there yet.
Well, he's got to get there. He's got international experience, or almost international experience. He got all that time with U.S. national team. He's by far their best player. He's got to step it up. And they talked about tonight on the game that Fox has been sitting with Walton on road trips and going over all his cut-ups and going over other things to make the team better. So maybe he is the one that's stepping up.
And I hope he is. But, let's say he doesn't turn that corner. Let's say he continues to get better, but let's say he doesn't turn that corner. James, do you really think Buddy can be that guy? I'm not sure. And I don't think Barnes is going to be that guy. And I'm really not sure that Vlade has the wherewithal to go out and get one of those guys. He has made those steps to be that person just in those last few games. Yeah, but is that going to sustain over the entire season is what I want to know. I want to know if we go to figure this out, because this team does have promise. Gustavo, yes, we are on iTunes. We're on Spotify. We're anywhere you can get a podcast, so you can check it out anywhere, probably tomorrow morning. Sorry.
Well, there has to be changes made, and so let's give him credit. That's why I say I keep going back to what you don't like is you can't make a rash judgment in these first 5 or 6 games. You got to give him a chance to let him work it all out. And if Fox has decided, okay, I got to step up, and he does, then that's going to solve a lot of our problems. Not all of them, but it's going to solve a lot of them.
You know what our problem is? Our problem is the fact that this team, which is supposed to be a 3-point shooting team, right? That's Luke Walton's style, is just go out and shoot the three as many times as humanly possible, and score as many points as possible, and whatever. They can't shoot the three. Dedmon's out there shooting up bricks. Buddy was 5 of 11 tonight. Fox has missed them. Barnes has been missing them. They're gonna have, and yeah, it is early, but they're gonna have to find their identity. And
absolutely,
it's gonna. I have a feeling though that it's just going to be another long Sacramento Kings just muck fest of just misery and a little bit of hope, and then more misery, and then a big old bright spot, and then people are gonna go online and all of those and all the talking heads are gonna be like, oh, look, the Sacramento Kings are turning a corner, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, all hail Vlade and all hail Luke Walton, and then they're gonna lose 13 in a row, and then they're gonna be out of playoff contention, and then it's gonna be right back to the Moss ping pong balls, and Oscar's gonna be hell excited, and it's gonna. And then Keith Joe had to put on him on fucking suicide watch because he gets so emotionally attached to this team that he's gonna go off the edge, and then we don't have to worry about him. And TJ, I think
I was just going to say, I think TJ is right. I think that India trip did take a lot out of him. And so, it's
because we've talked about a lot of things about this team that is very much like, yo ho, look at me, I'm so fantastic. How much of it do you think was Vivek going, hey, look, my team's going to go to India. We're going to be the first team ever to do it. Look how great I am for bringing people back and bringing basketball back to my home country, and not thinking about the rigors that's going to put on his team getting ready for an important NBA season. At some point, you got to look at it and go, you know what? Our team really isn't ready to be on that stage yet, and to lose 2 weeks or a week of training before the season starts. Maybe you just do a little bit of a pass. Like, hey, we'll be there next year. But it's just, I don't know. It just didn't seem like the right time.
No, I agree with you. How's Indiana doing?
I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see. Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are playing games.
3-3.
Yeah, so I mean they're not doing much better, but they also haven't been doing like terrible. Like, when did the season start? The 26th, right around that time, right around Halloween. So they lost by 11 in their opening game. They lost by 2 to Detroit, and that was 11 to Cleveland. They beat Brooklyn by 10. They beat Cleveland again by 7, and then they beat Chicago by 13. So they're on kind of the same trajectory that the Kings were on. They started slow. They lost to a team. They came back and beat the same team again.
And they have a little older roster too than we do. Yeah. I mean, I think having Otto Porter and Thaddeus Young and Zach LaVine, I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
What?
So they have Oladipo there still too, don't they? Or no? He's gone. I don't know.
He's not on their roster.
I don't really know. It's the Pacers. I don't follow them too well, but
no,
I don't know. I think it's gonna be great for us because we're gonna get to like bitch and moan and talk and all sorts of crazy shit about this team. But it's gonna be a true test to see really how mature these young guys can be, because they're kids. I mean, there's no way around that. They are kids playing an adult game or playing a kid's game in an adult world, and they're gonna have to figure this shit out big time.
Yep.
I don't know. So it'll be fun. It's early. There's a lot left. I mean, it's not hockey. Can't go and enjoy it as much as I could a Sharks game now, but we'll see what happens. Do you think there's any chance that – well, and that's another thing. We talked about what people called in and were bitching about. People called in asking for Vlade to be fired. Vlade just signed an extension. He's not
going anywhere.
He's not hemorrhaging money out of his ears. He's not going to pay another, a GM to go with all the coaches. Like, there's a lot going on that Vlade has to – or that Vivek's going to have to try to get rid of him. So,
yeah.
We got to get out. It's a roller coaster. I'll get better sound next week when we talk about the roller coaster, because that audio was terrible. But, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. And hopefully Kings fans can find positives where they're needed and not just focus on negatives, because that's going to make it even harder.
You are talking about Kings fans, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. So, all right, let's do this. Let's pay some bills real quick before we move on and talk a little bit about. We're just gonna talk football. That's what it's gonna end up being. So let's do this real quick.
Okay.
If you or anyone you know is thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, they deserve to have someone working with them that not only knows what they're doing, but will explain everything that happens along the way. That person would be me, Coach Greg Baroza of Keller Williams Realty. I have two goals. My first goal is to coach you through the buying and selling process, making it easy to understand and as stress-free as possible, which isn't easy sometimes. My second goal is to have fun doing it. Come be a part of my team. Let me coach you or anyone you know through the real estate process. Give me a call at 916-241-8068, and let's talk about how I can coach you through the real estate process. Let me ask you one. Who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate that I should know right now? Again, that's Greg Baroza, Keller Williams Realty, 916-241-8068.
One of these days, I'm going to let that roll for the whole 206 seconds that clip runs. To see how many people just drop off. NFL. We do a pick'em, and then we're going to start off with a pick'em because it's going to be fun. Because I actually had a really good weekend pick'em this week, and I want to rub it in a little bit. Because I had a really good week in the morning. I don't know about the afternoon.
I know, I did too.
So, me and you both had 9 wins this week so far.
Did we?
I took Miami to get their first win. Last week I said Miami was going to get their first win. And I also said that Baltimore was going to give New England their first loss, and they did that too. So, Nana Nana Boo Boo, stick your head in doo-doo, Greg Baroza. I was better than you on those picks.
But I was better than you on something else. I don't know what. But.
I think I'm beating you in fantasy this week too. So there's that. But yeah, so NFL this week, some good fucking. So first of all, we'll get to the Niners here in a second, and I'm beating you by like 50.
Are you Pittsburgh? I thought
no, but I'm Hot Chub Time Machine in the in TJ's league that we're in.
Oh, is that what we were? Oh, okay.
And yeah, so there's that. Pretty sure. Oh, let's still talk about the other team. So the NFL had some intense games this week. Got to start off at like 6:30 this morning, which is always nice with the London game. That game was terrible, except the fact that Deshaun Watson is ridiculous. Like, that dude has the potential to be a superstar in this league if he can just get a little bit more consistency. That kid is going to be phenomenal. They whooped up all over Jacksonville this morning. Miami got their first win. Ryan Fitzpatrick had a great game. Chicago continues to Chicago themselves right out of the playoff picture. They just can't seem to get anything right. The Mitchell Trubisky experiment has got to stop soon. That team is absolutely terrible. That defense is flat. I dropped them in all 3 of my fantasy leagues this week that I had them in because they just can't stop anybody. Matt Moore continues to prove that, like, there's a fountain of youth when it comes to washed-up backup quarterbacks. He had a great game today against Minnesota. Kansas City continues to win. Looks like Patrick Mahomes should be back next week. Buffalo beat Washington. Washington hasn't scored a touchdown in like 3 straight games. First time in 82 years of their franchise that that's happened. Oakland got a win, their first time home in a home game in like 6 years. The Chargers exposed the Packers, who the Niners play in 2 weeks, on all fronts, showing them how to beat up on Aaron Rodgers. Denver was the first time in NFL history that their not first time in NFL, I believe it might have been NFL history, that the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks on a roster that were active for a game had 0 starts or any experience in the NFL. They beat Cleveland. You've got to imagine Freddie Kitchens is already on the hot seat in Cleveland. That team is performing at all sorts of different levels. Pittsburgh won. They beat Indy on another Vinatieri miss. It was straight out of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Laces were in. Vinatieri kicked it far left. And, of course, Big Ears on NFL Network was having a field day with that.
Oh, was he?
Every single time he showed highlights, he's like, laces out, laces out. And it's like, all right, come on now. It's Finkel is Einhart, man. Finkel is Einhart. Just a lot of good games. And Baltimore beat up on New England. I said it last week on our show. I also said it to a couple of my buddies who are New England Patriot fans. And TJ, I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me because we saw it live tonight. The way to beat Tom Brady, and the New York Giants exposed this a number of years ago, if you can rush 4 and you don't have to blitz your linebackers and your linebackers can roam the flats and stop the checkdowns when Brady gets pressure, you beat New England. And that's exactly what happened tonight. Brady got pressured, the pockets collapsed, his checkdowns weren't there, they were getting hits on him, they rattled him. That would be ultimately the recipe if the 49ers were to meet New England at any point this year. Obviously, it would be in the Super Bowl. That Niners front 4 is the ticket to a Super Bowl victory over the New England Patriots, should that happen. That Niners front 4 can get home on anybody. They would definitely get home on Tom Brady, and there's no doubt in my mind that that is the recipe. And you're going to see it starting next week. You're going to see New England getting heavy pressure up front. They're going to take away those checkdowns, and Tom Brady is going to be exposed. And I say that with the most respect possible because there's not really much to expose Tom Brady on. Like, even at, 57 years old, he's still fucking amazing under center. I won't take anything from him. So many people today were like, oh, 17-0, Brady's done. Niners are the only undefeated. I'm like, look, it's Tom Brady. Until that fourth quarter reads 0-0-0 across the board, you cannot rule out the New England Patriots. You just can't. But something crazy happened tonight. Calls went against Brady. There was one where he was calling for pass interference. The refs got together. He's in the huddle with the refs just barking at him. And Chris Collinsworth is talking about it, and all of a sudden flags fly. And Collinsworth goes, he convinced them to throw that flag, like shocked that it's a Tom Brady thing, and they call intentional grounding on Brady. And I'm like, did they really just like throw like a delayed flag on Brady? And then the next play, offensive holding, moved him back another 5 yards. New England was actually made to play football today, and it was crazy. Oh, boy, here we go. Barn ball.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. All right. Thank goodness SoFi Stadium opens next season for the Chargers and the Rams, also in Northern California. The 49ers will be the only NFL team. The Las Vegas Raiders debut next year in what Allegiant Stadium will be their home. Sweet.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. So a lot of good games. It was fun to watch, especially without the Niners playing today. The Niners played Thursday night. A lot of Niner fans, just like Kings fans, were in a little bit of a panic. Yeah, they're 8-0, but the Niners defense looks susceptible. And I had to remind people, look, Thursday night football is not good for defenses. Defenses do not scheme well on Thursday night football.
No.
9 times out of 10, it puts a spotlight on the offense. And just so happens that Jimmy Garoppolo stepped up and he played a hell of a game. His first career 4-touchdown game. Every 49er fan collectively held their breath in the first quarter when Kittle got that helmet to the knee. He came back in and played. The backup tight end looked really good. We did lose Quan Alexander for the rest of the season with the torn pectoral muscle. Greenlaw's going to have to step up big. I think he will. But Niner fans, they're like, oh, well, we're in a panic. Seattle got Josh Gordon. They tried to get Antonio Brown. I still think that the Niners take out a feeler on Antonio Brown at some point just to see if he's interested. As like a contingency plan, should the defense defense fall back and the offense can't carry them, I truly believe that there's going to be at least a couple phone calls into Brown.
No, I disagree with you 100%. I think he's too much. I think that their chemistry and their locker room is just in too good a shape right now to even think about bringing in somebody like him. He's a bad apple, and we don't need that kind of thing here. So I saw your post on that earlier.
Seattle game is going to be the barometer of what the Niners do on offense.
Nope.
If their defense can't control Russell Westbrook and they can't keep up with Seattle's offense, I truly believe that there's going to be a phone call made somewhere to get something else on offense. Now, Emmanuel Sanders may be that thing.
They just got him.
McGlinchey comes back next week. Staley comes back next week. And Ahkello Witherspoon come back next week. So that may be the boost that they need. But I truly believe that if Seattle gets a fire lit under their ass even more so by adding Barnbaum or
Barnbaum.
And he just fucking TJ's talking to him. By adding Josh Gordon, and if he's healthy, I think the Niners end up trying to do like a counter move to do something for that. I don't want Antonio Brown and the cancer he would bring to the team in the locker room. Sorry, but no, for me, no AB. Yeah, Mike, we'll see what happens. But the team is going to do a lot. They're going to get exponentially better next week when those guys come back. Not to mention the NFL threw the 49ers a fucking bone this week. You have a Thursday night game, and then you don't play again until the following Monday night at home against a division rival. They basically got a bye week in week 10.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. We love that. Juice is the missing piece. I truly believe that is accurate, James. And we're going to see him come back. Although the Niners offense, hasn't missed a beat. They're only going to get better. Emmanuel Sanders, I'm willing to eat the crow that I said about making that deal. I was worried about it. I love that move. And I was told Thursday night when he made that out route, that about 24, 25-yard out route, he turned and the ball was in his hands. He didn't even have to turn his head. The ball was in the hands. Jimmy threw that ball perfectly. They've been together for 2 weeks, and that chemistry is already through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
And 100% all about it. And I'm super stoked about that. Greg Bowl, I will not accept any offers from the Seahawks. Mike, I didn't say you had to accept any offers from the Seahawks. The Seahawks sure as fuck aren't going to deal with the Niners.
No.
So I don't know what you misconstrued there, Mike.
The trading deadline's done anyway, so
yeah,
there
the
will be
trade
no more
deadline's
trades.
done. So again, I don't know where Mike is getting his information, but it's definitely not accurate. But what are your takeaways? What are your thoughts going into the latter half of the season? Like the New England, everybody talked about the Niners don't play anybody. They haven't played anybody. New England really hasn't played anybody either. Tonight was their first. One of the admins in one of my 49er groups said it best. Tonight was their very first. They were playing JV games up until tonight, and they played Baltimore. And essentially, the Niners' first varsity game is next week against Seattle. So, what is your feeling going into that game, getting ready for what's coming next?
Well, I don't necessarily think the Rams were a JV game. I think they're.
Close.
I don't think the Panthers were a JV game. They dismantled those teams.
Yeah, but the Panthers aren't the Panthers that we're thinking of.
Well, they came back and they won pretty easily today. You got to play. I hate this, but you got to play who's on your schedule.
Liz to tell you, I know.
But, again, here's another cliche. On any given Sunday, somebody can step up and beat you. So, they haven't played an elite team, and they won't until next week. I agree it's going to be a huge test. But I think what gives me a little bit of hope is all the injuries they've gone through. The two offensive linemen, Juice, their wide receivers haven't really performed like they should. Defensively, they're playing out of their minds, and that's not going to go anywhere unless.
We'll see, because I truly think losing Quan Alexander is going to be a big blow to this offense or this defense.
Yeah.
Probably not as big as, obviously losing like a Bosa or a Buckner or someone else, but it's definitely going to be a blow. He's been everywhere on that defense.
Well, and the other guy they lost is Ford for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And he didn't play it. Every time he's played, he was a beast against Arizona and Carolina. So, they've had to do things without some players. So I think that as they get healthier, they're just going to get better. And, their offense isn't a just manage the ball type offense. They're scoring points. They're just not doing it the way that we all want to see. We're not seeing all those 80-yard touchdown plays.
I don't want to expose a weakness of that they can't throw the deep ball. So,
right.
And a lot of that isn't even on Jimmy Garoppolo. Before the game Thursday night, I saw a stat. It was adjusted deep ball stats, completion percentages based on drops by wide receivers. Any ball over 20 yards that was dropped by a wide receiver or on target, but just not caught for whatever reason. Maybe there was a good defense, whatever. So accuracy downfield over 20 yards that wasn't just a badly thrown ball.
Okay.
With adjustments for drops, Jimmy Garoppolo is at 78% over 20 yards.
Oh.
But his wide receiver core leads the NFL in drop passes with passes over 20 yards. So Jimmy's right up there with the top of them. And Kyle Shanahan's offense is fucking ridiculous. If Debo can get his hands right and stop dropping passes and stop holding on key plays to free up Kittle, the running game is super strong. The offensive line is only going to get better.
Right.
James Hines hits it on the head. We certainly will know a lot about the next 4 weeks. We have Seattle, New Orleans, Green Bay, Baltimore. That is going to be nuts. We win 2 out of those 4 games. We're pretty much a lock to win the West, especially if one of the 4 games is Seattle. If we beat Seattle on Monday night, then we pretty much have the West won and we have a road to the playoffs. We just have to figure out how to win the games that we need to win.
Right.
Green Bay just showed how to beat Green Bay. Outside rushes, they don't have a running back game. So if you could shut down the running game and lock down Rodgers with pressure, you could beat Green Bay. Their offense is still broken. We talked about that week 1 that we just didn't feel like their offense was gonna be good.
Right.
New Orleans is New Orleans. I mean, Drew Brees, you have to account for everything. But Kamaro's been out. Latavius Murray has been running the ball that well. So that's a winnable game, in my opinion, as long as you control Drew Brees. Seattle at home, we don't seem to win home games against Seattle, and Seattle doesn't seem to win home games against the 49ers.
Right.
So Monday next, in 6 weeks, whenever it seems like we play again, is going to be absolutely insane and super. It's going to be the first, in my opinion, the first must-win game of the season is going to be Monday night against Seattle. It's going to be the barometer game. It's going to tell us exactly what we need to know about this team and what we need to do to get better. And I'm okay with that. If we lose that game, I have no problem with it as long as we're competitive, because chances are if we lose the game, it's going to be because somehow Russell Wilson pulled off some crazy bullshit that caused us to lose that game. It's not going to be anything else other than that. Russell Westbrook is just a freak of nature. So that one's going to be fun. And then the last one, Baltimore. Baltimore just proved that, New England is, they could beat New England. They put up a lot of points on New England, but they also exposed a lot of weaknesses. New England's offensive line has not been that great. Their wide receiving core is good. Their defense got exposed big time tonight, so that's a winnable game. New Orleans has been running the hell out of the ball. Latavius Murray has been doing good, but I'm not 100% sold on Latavius Murray against a team like San Francisco that can actually stop the ball. San Francisco's running defense is phenomenal after the first drive. First drive of the game, they couldn't stop anybody.
Right.
Once they wake up, you can't run on them at all. That's going to be a fun game to watch too. So the Niners' next 4 weeks are going to be must-see TV, 110%.
Yep. I agree.
So with that being said, we're going to pay another bill, and then we're going to do our picks for next week, week 10. This is new audio, by the way. It's brand new. Right now, world premiere, Albert Chavez
Wow.
audio. What's up, guys? Greg here to remind you that Albert Chavez is the guy to call for all of your mortgage lending needs. Are you ready to go? Finances are all in order, and you just need to get approval? Call Albert. Want to buy a home but not sure if your credit is right? Call Albert. You just want to pick the brain of the Mortgage King, get a plan in place, and take the next step to home ownership? Yep. Call Albert. I've called Albert multiple times, and I'm so happy that I did. Don't wait. Rates are fantastic right now. Call today. Whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance your current home, call Albert Chavez. 916-230-1537, or get his information from our website, www.sportstalk916.com, and tell him that Sports Talk sent you.
Nice.
Fumbled it at the end there. That was, I'll be honest, that was take 64. I had trouble. No, it was like take 3. Because of the first one, I forgot the Sports Talk 916, and then the second one, I forgot to say .com, and then that one, I was just like, oh, but it worked out. Mike Barnes, I wish the next episode of the show would be able to talk about a 49ers win. Unfortunately, the next game is on Monday night, November 11th, not Sunday afternoon, November 10th. Mike with the knowledge bomb.
Mike, you're the man.
Hi, this is Mike Barnbaum.
So if you want a good read, Mike Barnbaum rolled
Oh,
back,
that was funny.
hit some MySpace stuff this week. And what if I could pull it up? Because it's good. It's really good. Minus one thing I had a little bit of a problem with. That was the Mike's infringement on the Second Amendment. I'm not going to get into it, but that wasn't very cool. But let me see if I can find this, because there were some really good ones. Mike, 40 facts about Barnbaum. We're not going to go through them all, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to peel the curtain back on our producer a little bit for you. Mike Barnbaum is a grape soda fanatic. He likes red wine over whiskey, tequila, and vodka. If you gave him a choice of hot dogs or cheeseburgers, Mike Barnbaum's definitely taking a hot dog.
Oh, God.
Favorite type of food, wraps and or pinwheels. He fancies Costco, I believe. He believes in ghosts. He drinks coffee in the morning. And he asks, please do not force him to try to do 100 push-ups. One of my favorite answers ever, Mike, and I have to give you – hey, Steve, thank you again, man. Have a good one. Mike, this is one of my favorite answers ever. Summer, winter, spring, or fall? Mike's answer was a meteorological spring, March, April, and May. Favorite hobby is public transportation planning. He doesn't have any tattoos because as a frequent blood component donor, getting a new tattoo is prohibited by federal law per FDA regulations. Mike, I just want to let you know that if you do get a tattoo, you just have to wait 12 months. He wears non-prescription sunglasses as well as personal protective eyewear to perform certain but not all job tasks in the workplace. He does not wear eyeglasses for his daily routine. Mike, I like this one because people do give you shit, and you are a fantastic person at just brushing it off. Says, do you have a phobia? He says, not knowing how to respond to anger and frustration by others towards me. New name for Mike on this show, Barney, nickname Barney. 3 drinks that you drink: regular Colombian coffee, grape juice, and chocolate non-fat milk. Mike, I hope you get your promotion soon. That's the biggest downfall of yours. Mike, I don't think that's a downfall of yours. I think that's a downfall of your employer. Don't beat yourself up over that. Sometimes they just overlook the right person. Mike prefers the rain over the snow. He doesn't have any piercings. Mike is 45 years, 1 month, and 4 hours old. He does not drive a stick shift. He's never gone skydiving. He does not have any children. His favorite colors are green and purple. Oakland Athletics, Sacramento State green, Sacramento Kings, Stockton Kings purple. He's been at the same employer for 19 years. That right there shows that he should not be passed over for any type of promotions.
Right.
He was born in Panorama City, California at Kaiser Permanente. He has 2 sisters. He's never had a surgery. He's a proud believer of the Judaism religion. He takes a shower, but he does prefer a bubble bath every now and again. He doesn't like to gamble. He's very loyal, which is very true because Mike is very loyal to our show and everything that he believes in. And do you like to dance, Mike? I would love to dance. Love to come on down to the Golden One Center floor with others during the timeout during the game. Scott Freshour, make that happen. Mike lost his mother in 1987, which is a bummer. He has broken his leg also in 1987. And do you like camping? He says, I'm not a mountain man. I spend most of my time in urban and suburban settings. So that is Mike Barnbaum. Mike, I laughed my ass off at that today. So that's a good little pull the curtain back moment on Mike. And if you've never seen a proper chest bump, you need to go.
Oh God, we need to put that on our website, on our page.
I think I do need to get that on our page. If I could find it, I wonder if I can screen share it, because that would be probably the best thing I've ever shown on our Facebook.
Oh God, yeah.
Feed. I can't find it. I don't remember who posted it. I think Dave Mason posted it. I can try to look for it.
Didn't I send it to you on Messenger?
You very well may have. I'm on Dave Mason's page here. Let me see if I can find it real quick before we get to that.
It is the greatest thing.
It might be the greatest clip of all time. And Mike, you're such a – yeah, we are trying to get you to quit listening, James. No, I'm just kidding. We'll find that. We'll put it on our Facebook page. Let's do this.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not here to get back in the presidential race. But you never know. I could be swayed. America needs me. Okay, now it's time for the most luxurious, amazing, incredible picture in the world. Mine. I'll take the Ravens to top the Bengals, even though that doesn't make sense because cats eat birds. I'll also take the Rams to beat the Seahawks, but who really cares? My upset pick is the Eagles to beat the Giants, and my wild card is the Bills to sink the Dolphins.
All right, boys, you heard his picks. Now it's your turn. Greg B, who you got?
What's the first one he says? The Ravens, the who? Wait a minute. Whoa. Roll it back. Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not here to get back in the presidential race. But you never know. I could be swayed. America needs me. Okay, now it's time for the most luxurious, amazing, incredible picture in the world. Mine. I'll take the Ravens to top the Bengals, even though that doesn't make sense because cats eat birds. My upset pick is the Eagles to beat the Giants, and my wild card is the Bills to sink.
Finally.
Did we get one?
We have the Ravens and the Bengals this week, baby.
Oh God.
Finally. And I'm going to take the Ravens atop the Bengals, even though that doesn't make sense because cats eat birds. Fan-fucking-tastic. It's about goddamn time, Trumper. Oh, man. All right, so we'll pencil both of us in on that one because I know you're not taking the Bengals over the Ravens. No. Oh, my God, I am so happy now. See, James, you got to be excited that we went through that barn bomb stuff because it refreshed my mind. Yeah, Taggart got canned at Florida State. All right. Taggart, the coach at Florida State football?
Yeah.
FSU. Thursday night football, Chargers, Raiders.
I think I'm going to go Raiders.
I'm going Raiders as well. Next game is the Giants versus the Jets, shitty Jets.
Who cares?
You see that the Pittsburgh Steelers actually inquired about Le'Veon Bell at the trade deadline?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been crazy?
Yeah, it would have been weird.
Let's see here. Falcons, Saints. Taking the Saints also. Chiefs, Titans. Mahomes should be back.
Chiefs.
Although Matty Moore may allow him to take another week off, especially against the Titans. I'm taking the Chiefs also. Ravens, Bengals. We went over that. I'm taking the Ravens. This one should be an
birds eat cats.
Because birds are going to eat cats. Bills, Browns.
Bills. I think the Browns are a complete fucking dumpster fire.
I'm going to take the Bills as well, and I'm going to put a little star next to this because they're going to lose and Freddie Kitchens is going to get fired next week. That's my prediction. Cardinals, Buccaneers.
Where's it at?
They're in Tampa.
I'm going Buck.
I'm going Cards. I think Kyler Murray bounces back. He has a good game. They're going to take what they almost did to San Francisco and take it to take it down to Tampa Bay and whoop up on.
Tampa Bay looked good today.
It looked really good today, but I think that it's lightning in a bottle when it comes to Jameis Winston. He's very much a roller coaster, and I'll play the audio if you really want me to. Lions, Bears. Oh my.
I'm going Lions.
This isn't good for our picks because everything's the fucking same. Dolphins, fresh off their first win, go to the Colts. It might be a Brian Hoyer-led Indianapolis Colts team. He looked decent today. He hit that same fountain of youth that Matt Moore hit.
Coming off that fantastic win that they had today, they have momentum. I'm going with who are they playing? the
Colts and
I'm going with the Colts.
I'm going to take the Dolphins on a 2-game win streak.
Wow.
Panthers, Packers, Frozen Tundra.
I'm going Panthers.
I'm going to go with the Packers. There's no way they get 2 losses in a row. Rams.
I don't think they can stop McCaffrey.
Oh, that's probably true. I don't think that their defense can stop Rodgers, though, if he gets it going, because, I mean, Garoppolo ate him up. I mean, and I'm definitely not comparing Garoppolo to the other guy, Rodgers. Rams, Steelers.
Rams coming off a bye. I'm going Rams.
I'm going to take the Steelers off the win this week. Vikings, Cowboys. Cowboys play tomorrow night. Anything can happen that changes up that team, but I have the Vikings taking that one. No, I'm sorry. No, take that back. I'm taking the Cowboys in that one.
I'm going Cowboys.
And then the Seahawks travel to Santa Clara to take on the Santa Clara 49ers, Mike Barnum. I'm going to ride it high with our boys. I'm going to keep them going. I think this extra couple days off helps. Seattle today showed that their offensive line is very susceptible to the rush. I think Russell Wilson is going to be running for his life, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, he seems to play his best when he's running for his life, but I'm still going to take San Francisco at basically a full squad minus basically Marquise Goodwin, who's basically just been ousted as a wide receiver in this team. I'm taking San Francisco.
Are they getting Juice back next week?
Juice is back. McGlinchey's back. Staley's back. Witherspoon is back. If everything goes as planned.
Well, fuck, then it's going to be not a blowout, but I'm going Niners.
And I will say this too, like in our just a little side note in our fantasy league, Russell Westbrook today fucking saved my life. I'm up 263.
Russell Wilson?
That's what I said.
Nice.
I know what I said. I'm up 263 to 78. But he has a bunch of players going tomorrow night. The problem for the guy that we're playing is he has Prescott, Cooper, Elliott, and the Cowboys defense all go tomorrow night. And he needs to make up basically 200 points with 4 guys all on offense together. It's just not going to happen. Josh Zimmerman, who is Juice. Kyle Juszczyk, 49ers fullback. Nickname is Juice. He's been doing it all night.
You have been. You've been calling Russell Westbrook all night.
Have I really?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. It's been a long day, man. The sleep, like I'm tired. It's already like 10 o'clock in my brain. But yeah, anything else you wanted to talk about, Mr. Greg Veroza?
One little thing. Did you hear about Shoegate this afternoon?
I saw something about Shoegate. So the Browns, Landry, and
Odell Beckham Jr.
were both told to change their cleats, right?
Yeah. NBC took a close-up of them, and then NBC called the NFL and reported them.
Really?
And so the NFL went in at halftime and said, you either change the cleats or you're not playing. And Beckham's were pretty cool. They were like a clown. They were like a clown face. They were both clown. It was weird, but they looked pretty cool.
Let's find out. Let's see what's going on here. I want to look these up. There was I don't know who it was. TJ will know. He shared them. Oh, they were basically just the Joker cleats. Those are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Someone wore Popeye's, like the Louisiana Chicken Kitchen restaurant logos on their cleats today.
Oh, did they?
As well, yeah, those are pretty cool. They even have noses. Like one of the Beckham cleats actually had a nose sticking out off of it, which is pretty crazy. And then Jarvis Landry was just wearing gold cleats, gold and red, and he was told to take them off as well. interesting. I don't know why cleats matter. I've never understood that. If they can play, just let them play. They're playing a game.
Right.
I don't get it. I'll never get it. I'll never understand it. It's stupid. Landry's were too much color to Denver. Or too much color to Denver?
Too much. Probably too much of
much
a color patch.
Denver's color, but they were
Which was a
golden.
weird thing. Which was a weird thing anyway, because Denver was wearing their orange cleats or orange uniforms, and Cleveland was wearing their brown uniforms. So they were both wearing dark unis today. It was weird. Right,
and the thing is though, Landry's cleats were red and gold. They were like 49er color. Foreshadowing. They're coming. Jarvis Landry is going to be a 49er. He's going to get traded to Seattle, and then Seattle is going to trade him to us next week because Mike Barnbaugh is worried about us trading with Seattle. Nate Diaz lost the BMF match last night, the bad motherfucker title, to the other dude. He did get his ass kicked, and it looks like his eyelid was going to fall off. That was one of the grossest thing I've seen. He says that that's normal for him to wait till the fourth round to start going. I don't think it's normal for him face to be falling off.
Right.
That was pretty crazy. Canelo won his match last night. There was two really good fights on last night. Two really full cards that were going on. And The Rock needs to stop getting bigger. That's Stephon Diggs is wearing the Popeye shoes today, which is pretty awesome. Being retarded, who is the Browns quarterback? Baker Mayfield. Right? Why is that a question? Let's see. Anything else, Mr. Veroza?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, for you, Mr. Greg Veroza, I am Greg Bowl. This was episode 295, and it's been fun. So we will see you guys next week. Audio will be up on Spotify, on iTunes. If you guys can, please subscribe and drop us a review. Drop us a rating. Last week, we again climbed up the charts in iTunes. We're steadily climbing with we're not high, like we're at like 220, which is the highest we've been. But in checking with some folks that I know, ratings and reviews are what send us up that list. So if you guys can subscribe, like the page, and leave a review, that would be fantastic. You might also start finding audio on YouTube. The audio feed is going to link directly to YouTube. If you don't have subscriptions and you want to pull up everything on the YouTube feed, you get audio only on the YouTube. Everything lives on Facebook, and we'll see you guys next week. So for Greg, I am Greg. Like I said, Mike Barnbaum. Sorry we won't have a show next week talking about the Niners game, but we will preview it, and we'll have a lot of fun doing so. So until then,
night, Larry.
Later.